Okay, welcome to the February 17th, 2023 meeting of the Rotary Club of Beavercreek. I'd like to thank Jim Rudd and Beth Capelli for being our greeters today. I'd like to thank Dave Cusack for filling in for me last week. I apologize I couldn't be here. I would thank Eric Marcus, but he has gone to Washington, D.C. So hopefully safe travels to him. Pete, Mark, and Mike, thank you for the programs as always. Jim on the website. And I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Din Jarvie.
Yeah, I think it's gives the question.
Would you please join me in prayer? Oh, Holy Creator, we pray for the bifocals of faith so that we can see the concern of the moment right under our noses, but also see further on your purpose in working out your plan in your world that you have made. We pray for the ability to see at close range or our part as a group of becoming solution partners in giving the time and effort, money, and we also pray for the ability to see clearly in the distance of those who in partnership with us. May we look to the new vision through these bifocals of faith and then act. Amen.
Okay, the secretary's report, Mr. Joe Jenkins said he was having issues, but he said we had a very bigly crowd, bigliest crowd of them all.
So I don't think 50% yet, because I'm trying to be here, and you're big guys. We have two guests, my wife Amanda. And then Tom Kugler from the Fairboard Rotary.
Good job. And I just saw, who was it? And I saw children. Oh, Jonathan Hebring is here, and I think I saw his children with him. So welcome them too, but they're loading up on food right now. But yeah, I think record crowd, 100% attendance. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, with that, Mr. Don out. You ready, sir? He's not ready. We'll just skip that. There he is.
I just want to start off today when my neighbor, and some of you may know him, Dave Scott from Knollwood Garden Center, passed away last week. His twin brother Bob, was a founding member of this club. So we just want to kind of keep Susie in our prayers if you don't mind. Today is February 17th. It's the 48th day of the year. It's hard to believe we're already 48 days into 2023. There's only 317 days left. This is a day of high energy and aspirations. February 17th speaks to the quick to move and quick to think special individuals who always stand out in a crowd. We also are celebrating Champion Crab Races Day. My Way Day, National Cabbage Day, Random Acts of Kindness Day, and Who Shall I Be Day, and it's also Girl Scout Cookie Weekend. And this week we're celebrating International Flirting Week. And for Brandon, it's Great Backyard Bird Count. Jello Week and Random Acts of Kindness Week. Today in history, in 1878, the first telephone exchange in San Francisco opened with 18 phones. In 1897, the National Organization of Mothers formed the Parent Teacher Association, PTAs. 1933, the first issue of American News magazine Newsweek was published. And in 1933, a date that will just live in infamy as far as some of us are concerned, the U.S. Senate accepts the Blaine Act ending prohibition. In 1964, the U.S. Supreme Court rules one man, one vote. In 1985, the first class postage rises from 20 to 22 cents. Wait to go back to those days. Birthdays in the club. Jim Rudd, February 13th. Member anniversaries in the club, Dan Tobias, 17 years. And wedding anniversaries, Jim Gundel and his wife Sharon on the 12th. In the news, a Polish mother of 7 has successfully given birth to premature quintuplets. Wow. She says if you have a system and a calm approach and a positive attitude, then it's possible to have a really cool life with a large bunch of children. I don't know, I get worn out watching my 2 great grandkids every other weekend. That's enough for me. In a game where Auburn struggled with its 3-point accuracy, the best long shot of the afternoon by far belonged to a student in the stands. During a timeout, in the second half of the game against number 3 Alabama, sophomore made a full court 94-foot putt to win a car. Tigers didn't do too well. They lost that game to Alabama. And there's a rare Harley Davidson motorcycle built in 1908 that's become the most expensive motorcycle ever sold at auction. Sold for $935,000. In Monterey, California, a statue of Dennis the Menace has been found in a nearby lake. That's all I have. This one more of it. I read it. Yeah, two things I wanted to come up with today. I'm always looking for something interesting to put in the middle of this, and the Earth's population statistics put into perspective. The population of Earth at this minute is constantly changing, but it's around 7.9 billion people at this very second. For most people, this is an unfathomable number, but if you condense it into 100 persons and then condense it further into various percentages of statistics, the resulting analysis is relatively much easier to comprehend. Out of 100 people, 11 are in Europe, 5 are in North America, 9 are in South America, 15 are in Africa, and 60 are in Asia. 49 live in the countryside, 51 live in cities. 75 have mobile home or phones, 25 do not. 30 have internet access, 70 do not have availability to go online. 7 received university education, 93 did not attend college. 83 can read, 17 are illiterate. 33 are Christians, 22 are Muslims. Yeah, this is in the world. 14 are Hindus, 7 are Buddhists, 12 are other religions, and 12 have no religious beliefs. 26 people live less than 14 years. 66 died between 15 and 64 years of age. 8 are over 65. On persons, this is based on that calculation earlier. Only 8 will live to exceed the age 65. Wow. One way to look at it, I guess. It's like the documentary on marijuana. I highly recommend watching all the documentaries that way. I hate those people who knock on your door and say you need to get saved or you'll burn. Stupid firemen. Husband and wife came for counseling after 20 years of marriage. When asked what the problem was, the wife went into a painful tirade listing every problem I'd ever had over the 20 years. She went on and on: neglect, lack of intimacy, emptiness, loneliness, feeling unloved, unlovable, an entirely long laundry list of unmet needs. Finally, after allowing this to go on for a sufficient length of time, therapist got up, walked around the desk, asked the wife to stand, embraced her, and kissed her passionately, as her husband watched with a raised eyebrow. The woman shut up and sat down quietly. The therapist turned to the husband and said, "This is what your wife needs at least 3 times a week. Can you do this?" "Well, I can drop by here Mondays and Wednesdays." They expect young people today, but I got a couple here, maybe they can close their ears. Wants to walk her dog. Father says that she can't because the dog's in heat. After a moment's thought, he finally says, "Well, I guess if we pour gas on the dog, it'll kill the scent." So he does. Half an hour later, the girl returns home. Father says, "Where's the dog?" Girl replies, "She ran out of gas. I have to walk down the street. The neighbor's dog's pushing her home." On the first day of school, Billy was excited about his first day of school. So excited, in fact, that only a few minutes after class started, he realized that he desperately needed to go to the bathroom. So Billy raised his hand and politely asked to be excused. "Of course," the teacher said, but asked Billy to be quick. 5 minutes later, Billy returned looking more desperate and embarrassed. "I can't find it." The teacher sat Billy down, drew him a diagram to where he should go, and asked if he would be able to find it now. Billy looked at the diagram and said yes, and goes on his way. Well, 5 minutes later, he comes back. "I still can't find it." Frustrated, the teacher asked Tommy, a boy at school who'd been there for a while, to help him find it. So Tommy and Billy were gone for about 5 minutes and came back, and the teacher said to Tommy, "Did you find it?" Tommy was quick with his reply. "Of course, he just had his boxer shorts on backwards." The man's wife had just bought a new line of expensive cosmetics, absolutely guaranteed to make her look years younger. She sat in front of the mirror for what seemed to be hours applying this miracle product. Finally, when she was done, she turned to her husband and said, "Hon, honestly now, what age would you say I am?" He nodded his head in assessment and carefully said, "Well, judging from your skin, 20, your hair, 18, your figure, 25. Oh, you're so sweet. Well, hang on, I'm not done adding it up yet." That's good. I'm gonna save that one for next week. I believe in a couple of positive things. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we do it every day. Zig Ziglar said that one. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Today's slides. If you have ordered Girl Scout cookies, that's $1.
Oh, man. It's peaceful.
If you've been to a PTA meeting, that's $1. If you read Newsweek, that's $1. If you're an Auburn fan, that's $1. Got Corrales. 22. If you forgot to get your significant other something for Valentine's Day, you probably suffered enough. Now wearing your Rotary bib, that's $1. Brandon? There it is. Happy luck.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, sir. Open this hat. Emails.
All right, well, Don just mentioned about Girl Scout cookie weekend. When I told my daughter I would bring her last couple of boxes to the club today and see if anybody wanted to take a box of tag-alongs or a box of Samoas off her hands. So you're gonna, if not, that's right, if not, pick up 10.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the chief last week. That's usually not a good thing for a judge to do. Went to Sedona, got to meet up with our daughters and sort of spend the week with them, which was really nice.
Kids with me today, they are all. Also for our daughter Abigail, her team won the 7th grade SWBO basketball championship. Last Saturday.
I'm happy about it. So last Saturday, we did the Urban Bash. And Don here won a bottle of Happy 23.
Cool. That's a decent one.
The best one. One.
Anyone else? Shangria?
Just giving you guys an update, if you haven't heard, Beavercreek swept the Swashel tournament last weekend. This weekend, they'll be in Columbus, for state finals, and they're looking pretty good for that, so. You better get one of the posters that's left if you want state champion posters.
Limited edition. Who else? There's something? Sir?
As you know, Ed Phillips is recovering from having been in a, we've got a couple of cards here that if you would like to sign, we're planning on mailing those off. They'll be on the table up here with a couple of texts.
Anyone else? I mean, there's one New Year's resolution for years to read 12 books in a year, and I have failed so many years in a row. But this year I'm already at 6, so you should be proud of me.
Get the picture.
What? They're 100 books, but they're books. But no, I've been 6. I've been working really hard to find the time, and I thought y'all might like the title of one I just finished last night. It was called Wild Ones, a sometimes dismaying, weirdly reassuring story about looking at people, looking at animals in America. I just thought that was a really funny title.
It's big print, right?
It's big print. One of the journalists who went and studied, embedded himself with groups concerning animals, the polar bear, a very rare butterfly, and the whooping crane. And he just asked a lot of questions about what we're doing, why we're doing it, made you think, didn't give you any answers. But I just thought that was funny, looking at people, looking at animals. So I'll let you know if I get 12 books this year. So anybody else? Okay, let's see, that would mean announcements, any announcements for the club? There is a board meeting immediately following today. It should be kind of quick, so feel free to stay. And just a reiteration, please sign the cards. We'll leave those out after the meeting too. So please try to sign those. Okay, I don't have anything else. Oh,
I just want to add a quick announcement to keep in mind that April 15th is back with the pancake breakfast. So if you know people who would be good sponsors or be good vehicles for selling tickets, keep that in mind. Let us know. If you'd like to participate on the committee, let me know as well.
well, thank you. Okay, ticket drawing, big buck. So let's see. So you all gotta play now. You can't just wait till the very end and jump in like Joe did.
No.
Yeah. And you don't think you look like feeling, how much did you actually win more than you bought in over at this final
We
period?
can not last, you have competition.
No, sorry. He totally won. There was a lot of. Again, Kimberly's good at Rotary, but nowhere else. Okay, so new pot, we chose a new card. The card for the deck now is going to be the Queen of Hearts, which I chose because I love when I get queens in poker. I don't know why, it's an irrational thing, but I like it. So the Queen of Hearts will be the winning card for this deck. Here we go. 3, 2, 4, 4, 0, 8. Dave Cusack. That's rigged because he's the one who asked me which card.
Great, I'm gonna win.
You're gonna win the pot. Ooh, too close for comfort though. I don't like that. So, okay, pot roasts. How much do we know how much pot was last time?
You trying to get Joe in real trouble?
How much next time?
How much was the pot last week?
11:41:50.
So that's how much you got?
It's a 2.
That's 2,000.
No, yeah,
So you got 1,100?
yeah.
Oh, that's great. So that means we got about a little over 1,100 towards the Christmas basket project.
But hey,
However, he donated half to Rotary and half to his church.
Oh,
Is that a good dude?
the worst. The bars, I can't stand these good people. They're just the worst. So thank you so much. That's fantastic. That's fantastic for our club, for the Christmas basket project, for the families we touch, and for your church. So thank you so much, Joe. So yeah, pot grows. Let's keep at it. With that, I would like to introduce not Mr. Huddleston. It is going to be someone y'all might know. It is going to be Mr. Rick Corrales. I pulled up a brief bio about him. He's got a very short bio, not many accomplishments here. Looks like he served his country, did some civil engineering for, was the commander at the 788. Was the mayor of Beavercreek, was a county commissioner, was a state rep for 8 years. Now, let's see, yeah, he's county commissioner right now, Bachelor of Science, a master's degree from Troy. He actually went to the second and third ranked schools in Alabama. Never got to the first one there, so. Oh, there you go. Let's see, he resides here with Becca. He has 4 children, 7 grandchildren. He's been with a lot outside of Rotary. This was nice to see. I always like seeing what the organizations you all are involved in. So just Children's Treatment Center, Greene County Habitat for Humanity, the Victoria Theater, United Way, Big Brother, Big Sisters. And some of these were very impressive. I also didn't know. Rick was named one of the Dayton Region's top 25 most influential people of the decade in 2009. He's in the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame as a 2010. AMVET Legislator of the Year in 2014. I can go on, but yeah, y'all know Rick, and happy to have him here today to hear about the county.
Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I told Brandon to keep it short. Thank you. Brief, not short. I want to welcome Amanda back there. Thanks for coming. I saw her as she walked in and I said, hey, thanks for coming. It's good to have your support. And she said, well, I thought Gould was going to give the presentation. And then she said, but I'm going to stay for the food. Thank you so much. And I will tell you, she's good friends with Becca. And I think most of you know Becca's my much better half. And as I was walking out the door, she told me, okay, Rick, break a leg. You didn't know that I just broke my leg, right? And then we looked at each other and we just laughed. So that kind of communication. But it's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, Brandon's not here. You'll see our commissioners here. I love that picture. And I want to introduce the other commissioner, Dick Wool, and he's not talking, Amanda. So if you need to leave, go ahead. And Tom Kugler back here. Tom's in his second term, right? Second 4 years. You're your third 4 years. And Dick's in his third 4 years. Second. Okay, close. And I'm in my first, the second time around. I will tell you before I get started that I came from Brian and I, legislator, where Brian's in charge of his entire district. I was in charge of my district. This is a change because 3 people are in charge of the county. And it takes a little bit different dynamics for us to get things done. Now we're fortunate because all of us are the same partisanship. We're all Republicans. So I'd say 90% of the time we agree, and another 5% of the time we educate each other and we come up with the same thing. So it's working well. But I will also say that this is the county update from my perspective. If Dick was doing this, and Amanda, he's not. His would look different, and if Tom was doing it, it'd look different. And at the end, I'm going to try to give them each a little time to, if I missed something or they want to emphasize something, to do that. Okay, guys? So the first thing I want to do is talk about county government, because you know what? People don't know what county government's about. I will tell you, when I was the mayor and I went for county commissioner, 18 years ago, I wasn't really sure what county, everyone knows what a mayor is, what a city is, and they know what the state is and what legislators are. But how many really know what a county commission and the county is? Really? Not you two, you guys in county. Okay, well, of course you do. But most people don't. And so I want to do a little education here about the differences between county commission
and say a municipality like Beavercreek. Okay, there are really two major differences. The municipality, which is, say, Beavercreek and the village of Cedarville, whatever, a village. They are created by the state, but by request of the citizens. A county, on the other hand, is developed, created by the state for the state purposes. A municipality has what they call home rule, and I think you guys have heard about that. Home rule allows a municipality or a village to do whatever they want to do if they can get the votes and the support of the citizens, as long as it's not illegal. On the other hand, the county can't do anything that is not specifically laid out in statute. So, and I like this example, just a very simple example, cat licensing. Now, many communities have talked about that in the past for two reasons. If they have a problem with wild cats, and two, to make a little money. I think everyone here knows that we, David Hayes, or David Graham, I'm sorry, is in charge of dog license. That's part of our responsibility, right? But statute is quiet about cat license. So even though we have dog license, if we wanted to, we could not do cat license. On the other hand, if Beavercreek wanted to do cat license, if they got the ordinance approved by city council, they could do it. And so that's a major difference. We are a statute, we are an arm of the state, and we do what the state needs us to do. And if you look back in history, it's easy to see why. I mean, the state got so big, and so the officials at the state capitol, legislators, wanted different counties to do land deeds, birth certificates, all the administrative stuff they have to do. So that's a little background. Go ahead.
Bill, like a township administrator?
Townships are like us. They can't do anything that's not prescribed in code. And I should have mentioned that. Thank you. Where's my clicker? Okay. Which one? It's Ormo.
Do you have a clicker?
I don't know.
You can hit enter.
Yeah, no, then I gotta stay here. It's gonna be right in front of me, right?
No, I don't see one. Better, we have a clicker? No, we're.
Just click.
I'm just read it.
Answer.
Gary, hope you're well. About the county, just some stats on the physical dimensions of the county. You see the population. We think that the last census was messed up because of the virus. We believe that that number is quite a bit higher, but with college kids not knowing where to say home is and other things associated with that, that's a number that we've gotten. Size, it's about the middle of all counties, roads and bridges, and median income is 70,000. Composition, we include two cities, and I have it on the map. We include Kettering and Centerville in Greene County. A lot of people don't know that. We have 6 villages and 12 townships, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't tell you all of those. That's a lot. And we are the 18th most populous county in Ohio. Go ahead. A little. This is of course Greene County, and I have a laser in here. So you'll see right. Of course, I'm going to blind myself, right? It works. It doesn't work on us. It absorbs it. Yeah. Well, anyways, this is Indian Ripple, I think. So some of Kettering's back of the mall, and then the rest of it's up here where Centerville annexed there, an area where the development is off of Wilmington. So that's kind of a neat note. People don't realize that and how you can do that. That has to do with annexation, which is a whole nother speech. Just to mention, some of our largest private sector employees, I think, everyone there, people know those groups, a lot of defense contractors. Go ahead. Our largest public sector employees, probably no surprise there either. So I want to show you a little bit about our organization. Of course, here are the commissioners. Brandon, who is hopefully catching fish somewhere down in Florida with his brother. And these are all the direct reports. So these all these folks come under Brandon, who comes under us. And these are all the other elected officials. A whole nother discussion about elected officials. And you go to a company, the military, you have a CEO, somebody who's responsible for everything. And he lives or dies by field, or she. Each one of these folks are elected. And so a good example is when Luana was here and someone wanted, I'm not just throwing her under the bus, but someone wants to complain about one of these folks, they come to us thinking that we have rule over them. We don't. The only people that have oversight over these people are electors. They can vote somebody out. That's it. Now we hold the purse strings. That's part of our job. And so we can, it's a little leverage, I'd say, and we can use that to try to get things right. So I think you guys know all these folks. They've probably been here in the past, but that's who runs the county, along with all our men and women underneath them. Go ahead. Not to mention, just are inherently, folks here are about giving back. That's what Rotary's about. And some folks find that they have time after retirement. I will give you the example of my wife, Becca. She just retired. Now she's on 5 nonprofits. She works as much as she ever did before. We just don't get money for it. So I wanted to run some of these. Now, not all of these are run under the commission, but we have appointments on the boards. But I think people would be surprised at some of those building appeals, zoning appeals, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Council on Aging, Family Services Planning, Family Violence Prevention. I don't think we have one on there anymore. Do we, guys? No? Okay. I'll get that updated. Go ahead. Some more appointments. Port Authority. We are doing more and more with our Port Authority. It's only about 10 years old, but those guys can get projects, get lower bonding on that. It keeps the commission out of there. Regional Airport Authority, Transit Board, that's a big one as well. Go ahead. Time employees. We are, of course, if I have my pointer, we're at 350. You'll see that it's been a decline. The last bit of numbers that we lost is because we closed Greenwood Manor, which was one of the few county assisted living areas. Again, that wasn't a hard decision. That's something that should be done by the private industry. We shouldn't be undercutting them. So I think we had one old person we had to wait until he passed away. Which happened in the last couple of years. And matter of fact, we're demolishing that right now. It's going down fast. But we're about 350 now. And I will tell you this, go ahead. We have worked long and hard, the 3 commissioners here with Brandon, to do whatever we can to retain and obtain employees. The fact of the matter is that it's a tough market out there, and we get other counties, bigger counties, more money taking our trained people, and the public industry takes our people. We just can't be that competitive. So we talk long and hard about what kind of things can we do to keep our employees and get new employees. And we implemented a few things. I'm looking for it here that seem to be working. We have flexible schedules now. Our employees seem to love that. Every office is different and can only do so much. But the ones that are doing it seem to think that their employees love it. As a matter of fact, at the commissioner office, all the people in our office have one day that they don't work, and then they work 10 days on the other 4, or 10 hours on the other 4. English slave drivers, 10 days. We've done that. We actually gave a 3.5% raise last year for inflation. And that seems like a lot, but it still doesn't get them where they need to be. And we've done other things. We made the hiring easier. It used to be that it would have to go through the commissioner to hire, and either someone would get weak knees or something, go somewhere else if they got it. It'd take weeks to get someone hired. Instead, it takes maybe a week, I think. And we've given a lot of authority to our administrator, Brandon. That seems to have helped. And we've done a number of other things, and we're looking at other ways to do this. But I will say that what we have done seems to be working. And we got to keep on top of that so we don't lose the momentum that we have right now. Here are a couple, we do a lot of recognition. Here are the year's recognition, but we have employees of the quarter. They come to our commission meetings and we applaud them. We give them a certificate. Sometimes their family comes. It makes a big difference. And so we'll continue doing that. That is a priority for the county commission. Go ahead. A little bit about our budget. I'm gonna, this is our county budget for this year. Go ahead. 71 million. This is important. And I know that we've talked about this with other jurisdictions, but this is the breakout of our money. And you will note that sales tax by statute is our primary source of revenue. Property tax is the school's main revenue source, but we get some of that as well. And then income tax is actually it's supposed to be for the cities, but Beavercreek has not made that happen yet. So they're a little handicapped in that. Everything Beavercreek does has to be by levy. But that's very important because we try not to step on each other's toes, but we got to make sure that the sales tax, we got to make sure that we're working with the state. And interestingly enough, the state takes all this money, Brian, and they give it back to us. And we're supposed to trust them that what we get back is right. And we found that that's not always the case, especially like at the Green, where we get back sales. But a lot of the vendors there think that they're in Kettering and Montgomery County. I mean, the water tower there says Montgomery County. So there's some confusion, and we still haven't broken that nut. We haven't had the ability to get the state to show us the information so we know for sure. Go ahead. That's the general fund revenue, 76 million, 77, go ahead. That's our expenses. And the next chart, I think, is this is the important expenses revenue last year. So you'll see that we are in the black. We have made quite a bit of money, and someone might ask where that money goes. And there are two main sources right now: the jail that we are mandated to bill. It failed 2 levies, so we have no choice. And the second item is capital projects. So we have a plan to build whatever we need to build to keep the county up to speed. And I'll show the master plan in a little bit. And so that's where that money comes. And there are times where it's not nearly that big, and we have to forego some of the things we need to do and look for ways to cut. Go ahead. Just wanted to put that out there. It's a county news class. If you go there, you can get all kinds of information about the county and all our different departments and what they do and what's happening there. Go ahead. Trending topics. Now, this is the items that I think are important to know right now. Go ahead. Jail update. We're going to name that jail Gene Fisher Correctional Center after the late Gene Fisher. The project 65 million, I already said that we put it on the levy. It failed twice, and the cost just keeps going up and up. So that 65 million does not include the administrative building, which was included originally for under 60 million. And we're going to figure out how we can get that done, because the sheriff and his deputies and staff are in an old car sales lot. It's just not the right place to be. We need to take care of them. It'll be 250 new beds, which is less, located near the ADC. And work's supposed to begin spring of 23, so it's imminent. This is gonna happen. Go ahead. Another thing, and most of you guys knew Gene Fisher. I mean, he was a wonderful person, very, very caring. We're also gonna dedicate a section between 42 on 35, between 42 and 68, excuse me. We're gonna dedicate that to Gene Fisher, and we've worked and we've decided on June 30th, we're gonna do it at 2 p.m. and we're gonna do the ceremony at the Career Center, which is, of course, right here. So it's all very close and it'll be open to the public. So there'll be more coming out about that, but yeah, everyone's welcome to come. Go ahead. Next thing we're quite proud about is our water and sewer. So again, by statute, that's our responsibility. Actually, our assistant just laughed and laughed at me. That's a turd, by the way, if you can't. But I have one. I figured I'd let her do that because she put this together for me. Bring forward. So we're making significant investments for the future and projecting the population and how we can service them. We are adding softened water, and that should be available in the fall of 24, but we're doing it right now. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. Sewer capacity, we're adding that. We got a new metering system. That takes real-time flow information and it can alert the citizens by phone that you're having your flow is double it, and there's a leak in there instead of waiting till the bill comes out and your bill is twice as much or 3 times as much. Go ahead. And that's the plan. The government's always accused of being reactive and not thinking ahead. And fortunately, my colleagues and I made this a priority because too often we have a facility issue and we have to do something real quick. It may not be the smartest decision, but it will take care of the urgent matter. This is a master plan where we're going to hire a contractor to look at all of our facility. And when I say facility, that's also utilities and that's acreage. It's not just buildings. And to make sure that we have a strategic plan for the next 20 years that suits the county. And so when I talk about the sheriff's office, that will be on the master plan to have somehow, someplace, somewhere to project, putting that there, and then we'll work out the budget and project the budget so that we can fund all this as it's appropriate. This is going to engage all stakeholders. It's going to things like adjacencies. It'll interview our departments, and if one department needs to be next to the other department in order to serve our customers, they'll look at that kind of thing and try to consolidate, maybe demolish some buildings that aren't used and put, anyway, they do this, these master planners do it all the time. They'll come up with some recommendations, a budget, they'll present it to the commissions, and we'll go to the commissioners and we'll go from there. With funds. Some we're pretty proud of. We got $33 million in ARPA funds. And we spent a lot of time sitting around figuring out how to best use that. And of course, the federal government put all kinds of strings on it, so we couldn't just put it where it needs to go. But they were pretty lenient with us. So a key is that everything has to be spent by 26, the end of 26. Which really isn't that bad. That's reasonable. A big one we did right off the bat was broadband, and we're starting the broadband. The contract's ongoing now, and we're doing it on the east side of the county mostly because those are the people that are underserved. And so we will, of course, get that done by 26. And when I talk about broadband, remember this is only for the unincorporated area. Beavercreek's doing their own. Fairborn's doing their own. Some are using our contract, so if you live somewhere outside or in a municipality, you need to talk to those folks about what we're doing for broadband. We have put $10 million in revenue replacement, and that's money that we spent during the pandemic that is allowable to be put back in our general fund. And I think we're all pretty excited about, we put $1 million, more than $1 million into not-for-profits. The fact of the matter is, this is a Christmas gift, guys, and we know it. We will not get this again. And so this is a good time to take care of our needs, but also to help all our not-for-profits. So all this is justified, legitimate. I think you've heard from Emerge. We gave them $1 million. That's going to be a great program. If you haven't heard about Emerge, they took the All Career Center and they are going to help addicted people to get through that and then teach them skills in the construction trades, which we're very short on anyway. So that's a win-win. We're excited about that.
There'll be next week's speakers, so yeah, please come next week.
See them up there.
Yes.
Emerge, Bridges of Hope, Family Violence Prevention, Greene County Library, and many, many more. How many did we have? 40-something?
Something like
It was a full page of not-for-profits and everyone got at least 25K. 25K for a not-for-profit is quite a bit of money. So we're real pleased that we were able, and by the way, the list is, we're trying to be transparent. If you go to our website, you can see all where we're putting all the money. So in a nutshell, that's where we are. That's the important things going on at the county. And let me ask Ro, how are we doing time, okay? Anything I missed? If not for me, look for Amanda. Okay. You have just where did we miss? Or come on, what did you say?
Points of interest, I think that, we talked about the population, we always thought that we would end up about 169,000. And the population came in 167, and as Commissioner Corrales indicated, that we just still don't believe that's the right number. The other thing, just as a point of interest, we were talking about the location, and I don't know if people realize the center of the population in Greene County is at the intersection of Beaver Valley and Fairline Road. But Beaver Valley, and then Fairgrounds Road is the center of the population in Greene County. So I thought that's kind of interesting when you think of all the new growth. Of course, that's going to change as the population, as the growth continues to go on in Greene County. So just a little tidbit of information. But other than that, Commissioner, I think you did a great job. Good work.
Thank you. And it really is a team effort. I will say that why is the population census important? All of our grants that we get, and we get a lot of grants, that's one of the factors in getting the money for the grant is what the population is. So it is important to have it accurate and have it as large as it is. Do I have any questions? Yes, sir.
On the water softening, will that be reverse osmosis or the ion exchange stuff with the salt and stuff?
Do you want that? I'm sharing the wealth here. I told you we're partners.
Reverse osmosis, and it'll take it down to about 7 grains. And then if you want to soften more, then you can still use your salt.
Thanks. So this doesn't, I mean, you can keep your softener if you want. You can do both. But everyone will have soft water, which is something we've got something I talk.
Yeah, I think the number they're looking to get to is 10. Because anything lower than that will start impacting the lines in the ground and start creating a problem you don't want, because that has been running at 20, right now it's 25.
Yeah.
And so that'll cause a problem.
I don't know why this happened.
Number they're looking for, the number for pure salt water that you want all your water softener is 3. But you have to get that out of your soft water. You don't want that coming to your house, but you put the water softener in, you can get to 3 is what the optimum situation is. But again, what that means is you only have to carry that bag of salt in once every 3 months instead of once a month. There you go.
Question. Yes, sir.
One's a point of clarification, why the commissioners really care about the population is, I'm pretty sure that dictates their income, right? But I think you're paying tens of thousands.
We got a long way to go to get
Over 3,000 away from
Yeah.
any kind of change.
Yeah.
I think the state legislator takes care of our commissioners.
Yeah.
We represent the state number one.
Actually, the county commissioners haven't gotten an increase in their salary. And we don't do it for the salary, you guys, know, but we haven't gotten an increase in our salary for a decade plus. And I was in the state house, not knowing I was gonna come back to the commission when we approved it. So I get a few comments about increasing my own salary, which is not quite the way to do
No,
it.
I just want to ask you one.
Thank you.
Two real questions. One is, a lot of times when you see borders make sense. Like, we follow a river, like the Ohio border on the southeast side. When you look at like the Greene County borders in a lot of counties, they're very arbitrary. They don't even follow roads. It's just like these very harsh lines that kind of just split properties. What kind of determines the Greene County line? That's question one. And question two is, what's the biggest problem facing the county in the near future?
Well, I'm gonna loan you my. This is interesting. I told you I had to study up on the government to understand. This when I was a mayor. It's been 20, I don't know how many years, and it's still good. I looked and the last copyright was 1999, so I'm sure they had new additions. But I got it earmarked and good stuff in here about taxes and inside knowledge. And anyways, I'm gonna give you that. And I think that's a good subject for, here's another book for you to read. What's that mean? What's that mean? There's a lot of diagrams.
First part of this question, the county, originally 1803, Greene County went all the way to the lake.
Right, yeah.
And
Montgomery County.
They just have the number of counties they have now.
yeah, it was divided up just through surveys, so there weren't roads to follow. It was blocking off square.
Well, I'll tell you what, another criteria they came up with is nobody, now this, we're talking the 1800s, they didn't have automobiles. They wanted, for no longer than a day for someone to get to county seat.
No.
So, they could draw it up where it's, and that's why they put the county seats in the middle of the county, so they can traverse like that, so. You have anything to tell them?
Just, you asked about our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is our bile digesters. Right now, the bile waste coming from all our waste treatment plants, right up and taken to landfills. That is not the long-term solution. And right now, our Jason, our director for water sewer, has pulled a committee together, and we're trying to figure out what is the long-term solution for bio waste. If there's a weak link in our facilities and what we have, because I think we've addressed everything else and have a solution for it, I think it's a bio waste. And so that's the big thing we have to deal with sometime in the next 10 years. And we can start, we can't finish.
And he's talking about with Montgomery County and all the departments, this is a problem statewide.
Yes.
And I would say that I think retention and attraction of employees is always going to be a problem because we just don't have the money and resources other places do. I mean, when McDonald's, Burger King's paying what, $15 an hour? It's tough, and we're paying just a bit more than that for children's services people with degrees who have responsibility for going to the house and check. Yeah, it's tough. So we're trying to incrementally make the changes we need to be competitive, keep them happy. Dick, problem? What's your biggest problem?
Actually, both the two, the retention, the employee retention, it used to be we offered great benefits and a retirement. And the younger generation doesn't care about that.
Can I think about it? Yeah.
Show me the money.
And yeah, so that's some of the things that we were talking about earlier. The increase, the speed of hiring, because it used to be they would offer them a job, but it wasn't officially offered until we took action on it as commissioner. You work for the commissioners, but we delegated that to our administrator. Now personnel can say, hey, we want this person, and they can offer them a job on the spot. Things like that.
Interesting. It made a big difference.
So that, and then the solid waste is a statewide problem, and we tried to work with Montgomery and Butler.
There's three or four different counties.
Yeah, and it fell apart because eventually everybody decided they they want to solve their own problem instead of working together.
It's getting worse though, so I think they'll come back.
We were hauling as far away as Zanesville, so. Just, that's a day-long trip to go up, dump and come back. That's one load.
One of the problems you run into with county government and any government is the fact that when the people in charge are looking at how long are they gonna be in this job? And so what they do is, what's best for me over the next 5 years or next 6 years? So you don't have people, a lot of times in your government like we do in business. You don't have people looking at the long haul. What are we gonna do for the next 20 years? And people are not making decisions for the next 20 years, they're making decisions for the next 5 years. And if I'm the engineer, or I'm in charge, I don't want to make my job harder for the next 5 years, because I'm gonna retire. And it blows my mind as a businessman that we don't have that long-term thinking, kind of like we're doing with our master plan. You don't have a lot of counties that take a look at those long, just like we're working on right now, the biosolids to get rid of them. We're looking at the long-term solution, but a lot of commissioners and engineers and people, they're looking, then they got to tell me, what's the short-term solution? I'm gonna be gone. We'll kick it down the
We
tree.
see it in a lot of places. A couple more minutes. If you guys run into Amanda, our secretary, tell her you like the graphics.
Ashley, don't Amanda.
Oh, maybe off my mind, sorry. Ashley, make sure and tell her you like the graphics, especially the turn. She's still laughing about that. Any other questions, sir?
Check, but what's the best way to deal with the violations? Other than what we're doing there?
Boy, that's what Tom said. We gotta figure it out. We used to apply it to land, but there's runoff, there's all kinds of issues with that. I don't know that the EPA is helping us a whole lot in coming up with guidance and they're trying to watch the trucks and the storage of this stuff, but that's leading to all kinds of problems.
Yeah,
The trucking for all that distance, you're asking for trouble. I mean, they slide off, they lose it. I don't know what the answer is.
I think what we're doing is we're even looking overseas where what the technologies might be. We've hired consultants to look at all the different technologies that might be out there. And certainly what process is being used on the road and terminal, that concept is certainly a solution. What's happening out there may not be the answer the way it's being operated, but that concept of biodigest is certainly a way of looking at it. But that's what we're going to try to do, is try to find that best solution. And again, we're looking overseas, we're looking at all the technologies that might be out there, and what we may end up using may not even be on the drawing board.
Yeah, one question, Jim,
Just kind of in the same realm, I was curious if you guys are looking at those biodigesters.
Yes.
Point of renewable energy source.
oh, I think so.
we've done, yeah,
Methane and yes.
we're already doing it here at a small degree. But residents in Bath Township are real happy about that, right? That's another presentation. Okay, yeah, and thank you all, thank you. And the commissioners will hang around if they have any questions, continue that. Thank you much.
Wow, that's me. Thanks, Rick, for being here. Rick's been from the time I took over as president and gave it to me right away and said, if there's anything I can ever do if I'm available, please let me know. And I appreciate that because I know the schedules of Rick and all the other commissioners are busy. I think it's testament to Rotary too, that we have our commissioners here, our judges here, township administrators, city managers, I guess Beavercreek forgot to show up today. We will. No. Pete Landrum.
Oh,
Yeah. Pete Landrum, we're harassing him. So, thank y'all for being here. We have a quote. Yep, who was Abraham Lincoln? And we had Rick that all the county commissioners signed, so they have all signed it. So thank you all so much, and definitely make sure we get that to the library. The board meeting immediately following, there are cards that I would ask that if y'all can take a moment and please sign after the meeting. That would be much appreciated. Is there anything else? Try to remember, I don't have my list on me. I think next week's speakers are readers are Mike Canada and I want to say Alex O'Hara. And the speakers next week are two folks from Emerge, which he just gave a nice intro to, so I would highly recommend making that talk. Anything else for the good of the club? Okay. Mr. Brown, can you outside and like lead us? Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for its sin, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.